Make sure we're up and running. Hey everybody, hope you're having a great trading morning. It is an awesome trading day as usual. We are up pre-market, kind of beginning market. You can see I'm in NG trade.
Order filled.
That trade, I'm looking for a longer term perspective on that. We are down on a GC trade about $1,800. NQ is gonna piss me off here if it doesn't sell off right here. That's fine, NQ. We'll sell you up to here. Okay, sell you up to here, son. Sell you up to there. Double test that top, I guess. That's what you want to do, Sparky. It's like Sparky wants to go test the top. Let's go check the YouTube, make sure I'm up and running. Oh, I was on YouTube. All right. So how everybody's doing today? How you doing? Change the thumbnail. Little Rex. GC coming down, son. I know I talk like a rapper from the 80s. Let's check it out. GC coming down, son. All right, there we go. All right, so the mic's in a different location. It's not in the middle of my face. Hopefully that picks up everything. All the imitations and oscillations of my voice. All right, we're probably going to get out of this GC trade. Maybe, possibly, probably. We'll see. Maybe we'll be, you know what? It's starting to piss me off because it's stalling right there. Why is it stalling at the ATR band? Why are you doing that, son? Fuck. Sorry. I adjusted some things and I can't see one thing on my monitor. Really stupid. There we go. All right, now the mic's in my face again. Damn it, dude. You know, people I know I complain about it often, so I do apologize. But people underappreciate, like, how hard it is to trade. Then they underappreciate, like, how hard it is to stream and the additional technology issues you have on top of that. I'm just stating... Not really complaining per se. Maybe I'm complaining. Who cares? All right. No one cares. I know. Pull out the violins. All right, let's go. Didn't I just do this? I did this. Guess I should share this out so people know where I'm at. Friggin' GC, man. Bounced off that. I should have took that opportunity to get out. Oh, dumbass trade. No, I should have took that opportunity to get out. Usually when the market gives you an opportunity to get out on a trade that's pissing you off, you probably should get out. Telegram. We'll start giving more love to Telegram for sure. Faux show as I continue to talk like an 80s rapper. Maybe that's a 90s rapper. Faux show. I have to look up my lingo. I will respond to everybody that, respond to everybody that shared. So just let's kind of focus on the trades, because I'm not focused on the trades and I'm doing other crap. So the trade is going against me. NQ, what are you gonna do? I think you're gonna actually go up there. Bastard.
Order filled.
Asshole. Didn't let me exit quick enough. Pissed me off. We're in 6 on NG. That NG trade, I'm expecting the NG trade, natural gas. For y'all that are following along. NG trade, I'm expecting that thing to come down, fill the gap. Oh, am I gonna have to take a loss on this stupid ass GC trade? Should have got out when it tapped my level. Look at that, it tapped it. Dumbass, I didn't get out. That's what happens when you do other things and stream. When you're streaming, you're doing other things. You're not watching your trade as much. I mean, I'm typically not, like I said, I'm not watching the charts as much as I do when I stream. But, okay, let's just get out all this shit. We're going to need some of this powder. Little bastards. But, you know, I need to decide. I need to iterate on my process of streaming, because I can't be neglecting trades that I'm in while I'm setting up streaming. Levels I'm targeting. So Ninja Trader Shark said 12,963 on TradingView. Downside 13,027. Upside both Globex range, low and high, rejecting. Yeah, it's pretty obvious that the 998 level on the downside, at least in our system, says to watch for. So on NQ, Q998 is downside, which aligns with the level there anyways, which you should be watching. And then, what the hell? NG what against me? Oh, dude, I was in the middle of managing that too. All right. So on NG, what I'm still looking at, but with it actually finding a bid, and I don't think we have news on actual, not NatGas, but petroleum, I believe today. Yeah, in about 27 minutes we have a petroleum report, the status report, EIA. So that's something we expect. I anticipate I'm going to get one more opportunity maybe to get out of this actual GC trade, either at a profit or break even, because the NQ is starting to try to rip up. Try, I say, is the optimum word. Try. So far the buyers have been slapped every level, so we're not going to get too aggressive on that. We are at not a level check quite yet, but we got a level at 141 on NQ. Chart 4. Remember, look at that freaking GC, man. It continued to find a bid. Freaking assholes. These damn gold people. Gold people are, I mean, they've been trying to be right for 20 years. Like, gold people have been screaming from the rooftops, you know, the Fed's going to destroy the economy. The Fed's going to destroy the economy. And now they're finally right. And now they're like saying, see, we told you. It only took them 20 years to be right. Meanwhile, their deployment of capital to gold, you know, just was stagnant comparatively. So that's why I don't trade sentiment. That's why I don't trade what I think. I trade the charts. Right now, the NQ or the GC chart is starting to piss me off. So it is what it is. I am what I am, as that Popeye dude said. It's gonna hold. It's probably gonna hold that. So at a minimum, I probably need to either get out now, take the loss at 2,300 or so if I want to. I think I'm a little aggressive on that NQ. So we got the pivot in the half hour initial balance. Now it's a matter of what is it going to do next. All right, let's do a 4-chart roundup. And when I get to GC, it's going to piss me off more. So we got NQ playing around in a range. 5 minutes recaptured momentum in RDA. If we look at the index, the actual index, if we look at the actual NDX, we see that the index gaps down. It's looking to fill the gap, looking to probably retest the weekly open. I would say the failure zone is right around 3060, 1360. We do have the momentum there. Let's look on the daily, make sure that's still accurate. No, it's not. Of course not. Why would it still be accurate? Because I didn't. Oh, no, that's
Order
not.
filled.
It's right here. How did I get filled on? Did I get filled on GC? I did, absolutely. Holy crap. My GC trade's really destroying me. Look at that. Damn. Is it going to reach for the stars? I think it just might. Let's get out of this NQ.
Order filled.
Because we have the petroleum report coming up. And let's move that. Yeah, I mean, look, I trade charts, so, you know, I agree with Money the Gold people, what they've been stating for a long time. I agree with them. So,
Order
it's not
filled.
that I disagree with them, but, like, it's kind of like if someone makes an argument, right, and then you go look at objective science, I guess you could say, and then the objective science doesn't correlate with the argument. So, I mean, you can continue to make the argument, but if you have objective science. Good morning, Jane Wick. What are you going to do? Are you going to continue to argue? Or are you going to, you know, there is truth. I believe there is truth. You know, there are levels of truth, but I do believe that there probably is objective truth that we could all agree upon if we can see repeatable science. It's science, bro. This GC trade, you know, I think I misjudged that movement. I got too aggressive on that. It's probably going to hurt me. We'll see. The next trade on NQ is up right around 140. I don't think you want to get in front of that. Sorry, I'm not sharing my screen, my trades. I mean, I'm on the bubble there, kind of on that GC trade. I'm not on the bubble, but I mean, it's like, if I get an opportunity to get out at break even again, I'm going to take it. I'm not going to not ignore it. ARB is, we had a daily momentum. The 4 hour I said is the one to watch there. We don't have the RDA there, obviously, because there's not 200 bars yet. But the 60s lost momentum and bias. So if it can recapture momentum and bias, then ARB might be continuing to make its move. Let's see here. Yeah. GC's being... But if NQ breaks above this level here, then it's probably gonna do its thing. As I continue to talk like a 90s rapper. My thoughts on why I'm short gold. Well, it hit a reaction area, and I should have probably got out when that reaction area hit. But I'm waiting for another reaction area to see whether or not it's going to react or I'm going to take a loss. So that's kind of where I'm on that. I mean, I could probably continue to trade myself out of that position, but I think I got to take a hit on that one. Combination of me setting up the stream. I got one opportunity to get out. You know what's amazing about the system I developed? And I'm talking to GGG on so we'll go into gold once I either take a loss on this or, you know, it gives me an opportunity to get out at break even. So, you know what's amazing about the trade system I developed? I know it sounds arrogant. You know, let me share with you how amazing I am. Let me share with you how awesome I am, in case you don't know. No, but one thing that floors me about it is that, and I did this intentionally, but it also it's kind of amazing how it works out, I guess is the way I would put it. So you don't hear me talking about risk a lot, or risk management, or risk reward trades, because I just think that's a terrible way to look at how to trade. The risk reward. I just don't think that, you know, if you're focused on that, in my experience and knowing traders, their best trades, they didn't necessarily adhere to their risk rewards. Like, they followed their system, but didn't follow their risk reward parameters to a T. But one of the main reasons why you don't hear me often talk about it is because this is going to go over the heads. And I'm not saying that you're not smart enough to get what I'm saying. I'm not saying that at all. But baked into the system is risk management. And I know that's going to sound so how does that work? Well, see here, most trade systems, and I've said this before. I'm watching gold. That NQ trade I would have wanted to be part of, but I wasn't. Damn it, Jim. All right, let's see. Because there's a perfect time here to either add or get out, and I might have missed it. I'm watching the other charts, by the way. This is the time where I do focus on a chart. When the few times I'm in a trade where necessarily, you know, the challenge with this area right here is that there should be a reaction at least of like kind. But the challenge is that if it continues to run, it's just going to continue to run. You know, with gold, when you trade gold and CL, it's not like NQ. You know, NQ is one of the biggest range volatility instruments as far as like movement. It's one of the reasons why I like to trade it. With gold and CL, for instance, like you'll see crude here, when it moves, it does move, but oftentimes what it does is it'll just stall for a while. And when it stalls, it's stalling, and then it might just impulse in one direction, and then, you know, find the level that it is testing. So, for instance, gold's going up to the RDA, as you can see here in the second chart. That's its direction. I mean, it's probably going for the VWAP. It's probably going for that as well. But and this level, so all that aligns. I mean, this whole area right here aligns. I mean, it's just from a standard straight up week one support and resistance trader thing. You should see this right away. Look, we got a level here, we got the VWAP, we got the RDA. So of course what we're watching, traders of the Rex stock system, is we're saying, okay, what happens at the RDA? We expect a reaction there. But it could overshoot and go tag and overshoot the VWAP up in this area. That's the best trade that exists on gold, is right here. That's the best trade as far as like where it's at right now. The other trade is obviously starting maybe at the RDA. That's the other trade that exists. Look at that. Gold, you're going to give me an opportunity to get out at a decent loss. Right around $1,200. Well, I just missed that opportunity, didn't I? Now it's going to either react right here. Here's the problem. Problem with this trade is on chart 2, it's at a reaction area, and it's either going to react to that reaction area like it is right now, or it's going to go down there and maybe test a little bit lower, right around 2003 spot 4, maybe. Or I guess I could reduce. That's one thing I could do. I could reduce by half. I'd be taking half my risk off. It's probably the smart thing to do. But hey, we don't do the smart thing around here. Come on, dude. You can do it. There we go. I'll take a... There we go. Now it's going to be like, hey, I wish I would have held it. Okay. There we go. We're up about $60. All right. Made about $60 in that gold trade. That's enough for a coffee. All right. But, you know, paid some fees. Made the broker happy. It's probably going to continue down, but, you know, once again, my rule, how I would suggest you trade, is, when you're in a trade and you got to trade yourself out of a trade, number one, the dirty little secret about my trading that most of you guys don't know or don't realize is that my plan, I have a plan in every single trade. My plan in every single trade is to trade myself to a profitable trade. I have enough powder, and that's the way I trade. Now, that's also kind of a bad habit in some aspects. It's a good habit if I'm trading in line with the Rexdog system, because what I was going to continue on, turned off their algo, too much chop, and I've been scalping 30 stop, 20 target, and 22 if I get momentum, burst pull, 22 for higher target. Okay. So that's my plan. I go into every trade with that plan. But then the other thing is that what is awesome about the Rexdog system, the trade system that I developed, is that, and this is key. Most trade systems allow you to trade in arbitrary areas of the chart. Meaning, if you look at a chart as the battlefield, you can engage the enemy anywhere. And you're on a flat field. Just imagine most trade systems, you're in the middle of a flat field and you don't have the skills of Hannibal, one of the best tacticians and strategic geniuses of history on multiple levels. But you're in just a field, and then you can attack the enemy from anywhere. The Rexdog trade system is completely different. Risk management is built in because you're only allowed to trade at high probability reaction areas that you can predict. Doesn't mean it's an 80-20 rule. 80% of the time it works. 20% it doesn't. It's the way the universe works. I can't change the universe. If I could, trust me, I would. But I can't change the universe. That's the rules. So looking for the next trade opportunity. You can see here gold did find a bid there a little bit, so it's good to get out. Let's see, NQ, we're in the middle of a range. Our best trade we missed, mainly because I was making sure that I was completely focused on the gold trade and not neglecting that trade, getting in another one that really wasn't an opportunity. I think NQ is probably going to continue to rip up here from what I see. So we'll see if we can get in on a level test here on relatively light positions there. 2 lots. We'll start with 2 lots. We'll do a participation trade right now.
Order filled.
Put our trailing stops down below. See if we get picked up. We're just in 1 lot now. See how that works out. So if we continue the battlefield analogy, the Rexdog trade system, the one that you see here. Number 1, if you're new, you should be joining Discord down below. Number 2, the difference with the system is that we're like, the Rexdog trade system is kind of like the Thermopylae, I'm saying that wrong, the 300, you know, the movie 300, where basically it's not exactly right at a pass, but the Rexdog system, if we use this military analogy, we're not in the middle of a field. You're trading from a high ground.
Order filled.
You're not attacking from just anywhere within a field. You're attacking where you have the most advantage. You're trading where you have the most advantage. I know now, without showing other trade systems, it's hard to, if you can't put them side by side, it's hard to, I guess, visualize that is maybe the word I would use. We're in that NQ trade, waiting for that to work out. It's kind of in a changeover state on chart 2. Chart 4 really isn't giving us, I mean, we've got a level down below where my stops are. So my plan would be to scale in down to there, but I just put protective stops in for now, just in case it ripped. we are approaching the 9:30 hour, which does have petroleum news. Well, if it was the wrong channel, what channel did you mean to put it in, dude? Here we go. Yeah, look at that. So let's do this. Let's draw some of our levels. NQ level 095. Yeah, damn it. I don't want to scale in that low, but I think that's what I have to do. It's right around a momentum check too, overshoot momentum check. It's a fade trade too. So maybe a little mindful of that. Scale in at this level. I shared to everybody the, I call it the magic scale in number. I think it'll be refined for GC and CL. I do need to look at that conversation. All right. What are we up today? 3,700. Not bad. Should be a little bit better than that given, but that one gold trade kind of took my attention away from other opportunities. You'll see here in gold, if I probably would have been a little bit more patient, maybe it might work out in my favor more, but trade's over. More trades. Let's go around the chart now that I have focus. Okay, so scaling down to, yeah, damn it. I should almost get out of that and trade down to it based on the chart. Shouldn't stay in this trade because it's obviously not working out on the NQ. So here's some context. My NQ trade is a fade trade. You only fade 20% of the times, and you only fade A+ trades. This is probably a C minus, this entry as far as a fade trade. So it's probably a D. So, you know, with that being said, what does that mean? I should get out.
Order filled.
Take the loss. All right. There we go. I should be following my trade system and not trading against it. Still a little arrogance in my trading. Arrogance that I can trade myself out of any trade and not trade in the right areas. So let's fix that. Let's adjust that. Make sure that doesn't come through anymore. It's one of my biggest current negative trading habits that I have that I'm working on squashing. Arrogance in my trading against the system. All right, so we're doing a level check trade here. Chart 4 is our control. What we do have to be mindful of is that maybe the NQ wants to sell off. Let's look at the index, see if we can get a little information there.
Order filled.
Daily. Let's go to the 5. All right, so it looks like it might be testing the day open. Still wants to reach out and tag the weekly open. We're doing
Order
a weekly.
filled.
We're doing a
Order
level
filled.
test here. That's our first entry. Where's our next entry need to be? Down here. It's our next entry. Probably should be trading momentum and not fading this move. Probably what I should be doing. And as I say that out loud, I'm wondering, why am I fading this move? One of the reasons why is it is a level test. So you'll see there that level test is working out actually so far. Now it's a fade trade, so you got to take profits quick. Now we'll give it a little bit of room to spike up. Okay, maybe not. There we go. Take some profit there.
Order
Put
filled.
some trailing stops in for the other 2 lots we have in.
Stop filled.
Knocked out of that trade in profit, but you know, once again, it's a fade trade. Should be probably trading momentum, so let's start trading momentum. Like an idiot. I revert to fading. That's just a habit I've developed, and it's really pissing me off.
Stop filled.
It's really it's detrimental to my trading. I would have I've developed an awesome trading system, and then half the time I like to trade against it like an idiot. It's just stupid. Well, I'm not trading against it. What I'm doing is I'm doing the least probable trade. Like I said, the rule is, and members, listen to me. Hear me here. Number one, there's only one fade trade if you haven't had your fade card that you're allowed to do. That is chart 4, strong level check. It's the highest probability fade trade that exists. That was a weak level check. The strong level check is right around, I don't know, 0.69.
Order filled.
Otherwise, you're doing momentum trades. Number 2, the rule is 80-20. The 80-20 paradigm, or whatever it's called, rules. I can see this here. I just did a momentum trade and it worked out in my favor. Only got picked up for one lot. Put a trailing stop in there. Trading the NQ. I don't see anything else. NG. Look at that NG. I knew I should have stuck with that trade. Damn it, dude. Yeah, that GC trade just completely discombobulated my morning, if that's a proper word. Yeah, psychologically took me down a little bit. All right, still green for the day, I guess. Still up about $3,500. So the 80-20 rule applies. No, I do. I have a notebook here. I use graph paper and I put down like every trade I do. And then I tick it. Okay, that's a fade. That's this. It's just that in the heat of the moment, not the heat, it sounds pretty sexy. In the heat of the moment, and especially when I'm streaming, my trading is different. It's because I'm watching the damn charts. Like one of these days, and I keep saying it, one of these days I will just trade the way I trade off stream. The way I trade off stream, let's actually try that. Let me read what you're saying though, Ninja Chat. How about, so only fade 20% of the time, have a place of paper, 2 boxes and 8 underscores. If you fade, check the box. If box is checked, no more fading till you check. No, that's a good idea. That's a really good idea. I do have to, that's a good idea. It's coming up with, for those that maybe you're new, you just joined and you're just new to the stream, or you're new to me trading. I'm pretty good at self-correcting. But also I've proven that I'm this. Yeah, see, I was right on this actual level check trade. See that? This is what grinds me. I just said that the fade trade wasn't good, but like if I would have gave it a little bit more patience and called the bluff on that trade, and then like put my stop losses where they probably should have been, plan to scale in at our magic scale in number, I'd be in this trade that actually is moving in the direction we expect. Still, it was a fade trade, so I'm not going to go back on what I said. But, Ninja Trader Shark, you're right. I should, since I'm not able to correct it in my usual fashion, that means I need to look to alternative methods to address my negative trading habit, because obviously what I'm doing isn't working. So you're right. I have to find other ways to adjust my psychology, because it's not the system that's broke, it's me that's broke. So Dan the man, you will join Bravo. We'll add you to Bravo here. In Bravo, hi. Welcome. All right, so here's how I usually trade. Feel free to ask questions. I'll continue to answer them. Here's how I usually trade. Let's remove everything from the books. Bam, 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 bam. Guess I could just use the button. All right. How I usually trade off stream. I hate alerts because, I like them, but it's just one more thing that I have to cancel at the end of the day. So this isn't probably the way you should trade, but it's the way I like to trade. I start and I do one lots. So basically I use the 4 chart setup, and I will say, okay, the best opportunity trade is here. and then I will put a protective stop usually, and usually it's one lot. And then I'll go to the next chart. And the next chart, what I'll do is I'll go to CL and I'll say, okay, where's the next high probability trade? Well, the next high probability trade is here. Whoa, is it that high? It sure is. That's the next high probability trade on CL. Up there, 79 spot 80, 80 spot 04. That's the next high probability trades. Now I'll do it on the downside as well. So for instance, on the downside, the next high probability trade on CL is $78 spot 78. Everybody likes 78 by 78. No, I can't do that, dude. I'll read that comment and I'll share why. Gold, the next high probability. So this is how I trade off stream. And then I don't look at the charts. I literally don't look at the charts because I don't need to. I can look at the charts in 2 seconds and I know what the high probability trades are. Okay, 10 seconds. Let's up that. I don't need to look at the charts. So the next gold high probability trade is kind of around this area. That's the next gold high probability trade. On the downside, you know, we missed the huge opportunity for this buy. The downside, the next high probability trade for the buy side is right here. These are high probability trades. Now what I sometimes do is then I'll go in and maybe say, okay, I want to get a little bit more aggressive. Now here's how this works. I literally don't look at the charts. I mean, they're up so I can see them, but I glance at them from time to time, I guess I would say. But the charts don't get my attention until I get filled. When I get filled, then I'm like, oh, this chart, you know, time is your most valuable asset. This chart has told me that I should pay attention to it. And then I scale in, or then I add to the trade, or then I get out, or then I manage the trade. That's how I enter. Or that's how I trade. Yeah, so we missed our entry on that, on the NQ trade, but you know, we have another opportunity here to maybe get in with a little bit of scale down to here. Problem is if it's going to do the downside, it is doing a momentum check, so we can do this. So we're in the middle of a changeover in NQ as far as chart 4 recaptured momentum. It's trying to recapture bias. We know where the NQ is trying to go. Like, there's no doubt. The NQ is trying to go. The NDX is trying to go and test the weekly open. That's like, it's the most obvious. It's trying to fill the gap and test the weekly open and close and get a close above the weekly open. We know what it's trying to do. Like, we don't have to guess. Like, that's what it's trying to do. It's held the day open so far. It's going for the week open. Like, if you're trading something else, I don't know what you're trading, because those are the only two levels that really matter to it right now. Here's another thing by Ninja Traders. Right, here's another one. Give $5 to your wife, somebody else. If you make money not trading the system, she be like, what the $25 for? It keeps me accountable. I knew somebody would say, doing want to make money or be right. Yeah, do you want to make money or be right? That's contrary to what I would suggest to most traders. I would suggest to most traders that you don't tell anybody about your trading, even your wife. I mean, you tell them. Okay? You tell your wife, your significant other, but you don't discuss it, because no one is going to believe that you're going to succeed. Not even your wife. I don't care how much she believes in you. If she's seen The Wolf of Wall Street, she assumes that wherever you go when you trade, it's all about hookers and blow. That's what she assumes. So, I mean, obviously I'm generalizing here, but I'm just telling you from experience, that no one believes that you're going to be successful. And when you're successful, because of the connotations of what they see in modern media, they think you're doing something wrong. They think you're like Jordan Belfort at the Investor Center selling pink sheets. So, damn, I've been missing out. Oh, that's what it's about. So, like, I've learned that lesson the hard way, and I've seen other people learn that lesson the hard way. It's a lonely journey. I mean, if you're in the group and you're a member of the Rex Dog Trade System, it's a little bit less lonely. It's still a lonely journey. No one in your life is going to appreciate it. I'll just share this, okay? If you involve a significant other in aspects of your trading, they don't have the same psychological ability. Damn it, I didn't get picked up there. So let's see where we can get picked up. I'm in no trades because I'm waiting for the best entry, obviously. All right, so we're going to cancel our bids because this trade is no longer valid as far as I canceled the offers. I didn't cancel the bids. So we got the opening range developed. You know, the 60 on the NQ is still bias and momentum short. So that's probably where it's trying to go in addition to the weekly open. So for instance, I had a big losing day a couple weeks ago, right?
Order filled.
If I would have told my significant other, hey, I lost 49 grand today. Let's go out to eat. Look, she doesn't care anymore. All she cares is what I'm doing legal. That's all she cares about. She just cares. I don't care how you make money. Just make sure it's legal. I'm like, okay, cool. Like, because she never really understood what I did before, because I would change every 5 or 6 years. 1 year, you know, I'd be in real estate and then suddenly say, nah, you know what? Real estate really hurt. I now have a digital marketing agency and I've got these clients, you know, and that's what I do now. Oh, when you start that? Well, I started that 3 months ago. So, you know, she doesn't care. She just cares that, hey, is it legal? But then also she could not handle. I made that 49 grand back in 2 days and then some. I made a little bit more. But she would be fixated on the fact that I lost 49 grand. She just would be like, you know, she wouldn't, if I would have said, hey, good news, I lost 49 grand today. Let's go out to eat. She would not be able to go out to eat. She probably wouldn't be able to sleep that night. Just because she doesn't operate in this environment. So I just say, hey, here's the money. Like, go do with it whatever we need to do with it. And, you know, we're fine. I've learned this the hard way. So we're in one trade on the NQ. We're waiting to get picked up on the highest probability trade, which is, well, we got to watch that weekly open. That's what we got to watch, right? It's going for the week open. Now, it might fall short, but really that's what we're trading. We probably should be a larger size. So if we get knocked out of this trade, we'll see if we can get picked up on a momentum and bias check on chart 2. That's the way to trade the system. So we're trading the system. Yeah. So, you know, accountability is good, but, you know, you have to, like, your accountability buddy, I guess is the way to put it. We're up about, what is that? What are we up on that trade? $300. Your accountability buddy needs to, okay, so now we're at a momentum check on chart 4 or chart 3. Really recaptured the RDA. We're at a level, so we really should be shorting this, except for how it got up there. You know, this is where it comes with a little discrepancy. Well, is it going to just stop here short of the weekly open, or is it probably going to tap it or overshoot it? Well, I would assume what you're probably going to say is it's going to tap it and overshoot it. Plus, we got the mix 200 up here. So really, the best short is right around 0.66 when the index hits 0.66. Now, this is where I might use an actual alert. This is the only time I use an alert. Is like, okay, I'll put an alert here, but I still hate it because then I have to go in here and I have to delete the alerts. I just, I'm sure there's probably, I know there's an easy way to delete all the alerts.
Stop filled.
What did I get stopped out of the NQ trade. Let's go to the chart so we can show our trades. All right, so the NatGas has given us another opportunity to enter on what would maybe be a weak open test and a gap fill. So let's look at that chart. Let's pull it up. Let's see what NatGas tells us on the 4-chart setup. For those that are new here, we trade the 4-chart setup. It is a combination of time and non-time charts. It is your superpower in trading. You're seeing 4 different 5-minute charts. That's what you're seeing. All right, so the best entry expired on the NG, but that's the best entry on the NG right there. 2 spot, 2, 2, 4, niner, niner, niner. There's no nines. I just like to say niner, niner, niner. All right, look at that level check there on the NQ. Perfect reaction. Should have traded that. That was the trade to do. I missed the entry. I didn't take that entry on the NQ. Damn it, Jim. But I think we were wise not to take it from the perspective of we're so close to the weekly open. Do we want to argue with the fact that, well, number one, that level check would have been a good trade. You would have had to take profit quickly.
Order filled.
But do we want to argue with the fact that what it's trying to do is probably tag at least at a minimum the weekly open? No, we don't. So that's why I didn't take that high probability level check trade, just because the long trade, given the remember, it's the story of the chart. It's not, you're trading the story of the chart. You're not trading some magical made up myth. You're looking, the 4-chart, we developed the 4-chart setup for a very specific reason, because it gives you tremendous edge in trading. If you don't use the 4-chart setup, you lack tremendous edge in trading. So use it to its maximum ability, in addition to the other rules in the system. One of the things in the system is that when the cash market is open, you probably should pay attention to what the derivative, the underlying of the derivative is. Now, if I'm speaking to highbrow trader talk, basically the NQ is a derivative of the NDX. The NDX actually is a derivative of the actual makeup of the Nasdaq, the actual stocks in it. So it's a derivative of the derivative. I know I mean, we're being super technical here. But when the cash market is open, the most important thing you need to hear here is that our reaction areas are still valid on the NQ, but there are also additional reaction areas on the index. So for instance, this week open right here is the index week open at 13,053. That's the week open for the NDX. The NQ opened way up here, 13,220. That's where the NQ opened on Sunday. Both of those are high probability reaction areas. Both of those are targets. Both of those are magnets. They both repel price and they attract price. Both of those. When the cash market is, whenever the market's open, it's going to look to the NDX because that's the actual capital being put in play in the market. So it's going to look to that. So that's why I didn't take the short. That's why I just did a limited long entry or long trade here, which was only for one lot. I tried to get picked up for more, but it didn't come down to my entries. I'm going to probably get knocked out of this for about $200 to $300. So we're just kind of slowly working our way back into trade confidence. I share that because the GC trade psychologically had a potential to throw off my trading. So what I'm doing in real time, I'm trying to explain more what I'm doing. Do people appreciate this? I don't know. I mean, I've heard that people don't, I don't, but, I don't, I'm trying to explain more of the thinking behind everything I do. So does that help? Hey, dude, you need to mute your mic. Otherwise, you're out of here. I don't want to hear you talking to other people. Like, you can talk to me, or I'm going to mute you. All right, dude, you're muted. Bam. So if you join active trading and your mic is on and you're talking to other people about the fish you just caught, we all can hear that. Okay. I mean, I know I've heard it before that people ask that, or people, but, like, I've said this many times before. It's called trading, not waiting. Or it's called waiting, not trading. So the problem with streaming is that if I'm not in a trade, we're waiting for a trade, and there's nothing else to do. I don't have anything else to do. So like, I try to fill that with, instead of, I've been on other streams, and how they fill it is by talking about their dog, and I do that from time to time, talking about sports, talking about other stuff, like, and then, like, I watched one stream the other day, like, and I'm not complaining, I'm just like, to me, like, you're here to learn how to trade, to generationally change your life. That's what the hell you're here for. You're not here to friggin' talk about peanuts. You're here because you want trading to be a generational capital change in your life. Like, to me, that's the opportunity that exists for you. Like, you're very fortunate to be living in a time like now. All right, so, like, and when the stream I watched annoyed the hell out of me because the dude only made like $900 for the day. And like, he's trading the MNQ. He's traded for like 3 hours. And like 2.5 was BSing. And he missed, I don't know, 15 trades. So like, it's like, dude, what are you here for? Are you here to just entertain and hang out? Or are you here to pull capital from the market? Like, what the hell is your purpose? Like, maybe you make enough money from training and whatever those comments are, super comments or whatever the comments are where people paid on YouTube. Maybe you make enough money from that where you're just happy, right? But it's like, no. You know what? I'm a trader. I'm not a friggin' dude that's trying to make money off comments. My job is to pull capital from the market. That's your job as well. So if you're here, that's what you want. You don't want me talking about peanuts. I mean, I will from time to time, obviously, because, I mean, I don't know if peanuts are the best nut, but, like, I'm sure there's probably a good argument to be had there. Which nut is the best nut? That's what she said. Anyways, let's go back and get focused. So, while you're seeing... you're muted too, dude. So while you're seeing some of this, or while you're seeing me kind of trade at limited size and not get so aggressive, is that GC trade. I think I'm over it now, but that GC trade, you could hear probably in my voice that, while I try to remain calm and focused and don't let things get underneath my skin, sometimes the market pisses me off. I like to use my emotions. This is what you're going to learn. So I asked yesterday, would it be helpful if I'll share this. Would you attend or find valuable a live Q&A here on Discord where I cover the exact mindset to adopt to become an elite trader? It would be about 30 to 40 minutes of me sharing the precise mindset you need to adopt. Then 30 or so minutes of questions. And I really don't say this from arrogance, but I know enough traders, real traders, successful traders. I've been successfully trading since 2018. I've had this group since 2018. I know exactly the mindset, the thinking that a trader needs to have to be successful. Precisely. And I can identify within probably under 2 minutes whether or not someone is at the point in their life where they have the ability to be a successful trader. Probably less than that. And I can tell you precisely how to think, and what to do about it. And I know that sounds completely arrogant. And it stems from me writing a 200, 300 page book on mindset and then looking at the other books out there and realizing I'm just adding to the garbage. Someone here shared actually something, my exact sentiment, which is absolutely, they said, all this talk about your 30-page super mindset book has me thinking about all those 300-page psychology of trading books that I've read, which only left me having more questions and uncertainty. Exactly, because those mindset books, they're filled with so much good information, but the challenge with them is that you don't know which ones are most important, which ones have the highest impact. You're just okay. Here's a good example. I just got filled on the NG trade. Okay, so what does that mean? The NG trade garners my attention. All right, high probability trade hit. The chart now has told me that it's worth my time even paying attention to. Okay, so we're paying attention to the NG trade. Let's look at it. All right, let's move this one up. Let's use the 5 minute. All right, so I'm fine with that entry right now because we're at a high probability area on chart 4. We got another high probability area right here, right around, it's not showing up in that chart, 20 spot 239, 22, or 20 spot 240 or so. So we'll look to get filled there, a little bit there, and then we've got the RDA up above. If it really wants to run, then it's going to run. All right, we got picked up on the CL trade. Now the CL trade, that one is a little, I don't like the way that it's currently printing, but we're up $40 in that CL trade. CL, we've got another entry that is high probable, right around 80 spot 3. So we need to plan to scale into that trade up to that zone. We do know that the report came out a little bit ago, so this is probably some reaction to the report, but we don't trade that news. We did get knocked out of our NQ trade. So the NQ trade, we probably want to get back in where our entries are. All right, I'm done. I'm literally done. Meaning that I would go do something else. That's the extent of me managing my trades. I don't need to do anything else. I don't need to watch the charts. Now, some of you do need more chart time, okay? You need about a year of chart time total. So I'll just share. How much chart time do you need? About a year. After a year trading the system, you don't need any chart time. Why? Because it doesn't change. There we go. Just short of, look at that, perfect RDA hit. Look at that, short of the weekly open, perfect RDA hit. RDA once again for the win. Look at that. Should have traded that. But once again, I don't want to fight the weekly level. The other thing that I shared before is that, psychologically, so I'll finish the thought just so you know. So psychologically, the GC trade had an ability to potentially affect my psychological mindset in this session. So I immediately, once I got out of that trade, what did you see me do? For those that this is kind of a good learning thing. I exited all trades. The RDA line is actually the yellow line. See how perfectly it just tagged there on the 5 minute on the index? Yep. Yeah, in the chart right here. This chart right here. Perfect. Look at that. RDA for the win. Didn't even tag the weekly open. It just went up, said, hey, you know what? We're going to use the RDA. We're going to sell off. Reaction. Yeah. So, that's a free indicator. For now, until we go stealth, everything's going away. So, what I what I share, or like, so what did I do in that trade though? Let's go back to this. Damn it, I didn't get picked
Order
up on
filled.
that pullback. Jerk. See if we can get picked up. I still think the weekly opens in line. Okay, we're down $30. We're up about $20 in the NG. We do have an RSI signal on the gold futures. Where's our triangle? Triangle, triangle, triangle. It's not the best probability triangle, but we do have an RSI signal. That would tell us that probably we want to maybe trade on the GC right here. See if we can get picked up on an overshoot and a false break. Simple. What I see another line below. What is that one? What do you mean? On what chart? On the NDX? Well, I mean, these are our momentum indicators. Then there's the RDA, the yellow line, and then this is our mix 200. That tells us that this is a relatively weak move, so we should probably expect a sell-off if it gets up there. So that's how to read the indicators. Oh, the white ones are fast momentum, or slow momentum indicator. So that's the white one. So right now it's still momentum short. This chart, NDX, is bias and momentum short right now. So what does that mean? Well, that means you should be trading with momentum and bias, meaning that you should be short, except for the one dominating factor there is that we are so close to the weekly open. You have to think in probabilities. Like, look, we knew down here that it was trying to go for the weekly open because a gap through it, it's trying to fill the gap. So the question is it more probable that it's not going to try to test the weekly open compared to it's going to test? That's how you have to think about that. So, like, which one trumps the other? Plus, what did it do? Look at this. This is important. This price came down here in this bar. It tagged our fast momentum indicator. Even though it's still momentum short, it tagged that indicator as a reaction. And then what did it do? It held it here. So this is even more reason why I am fading the move. But in this, once again, this is why, I think most people have a challenge with trading, is because they want these like precise 100% or 90% trades where everything aligns and it's just perfect and like you're in this magical world. Well, you know what? Trading's messy. You got to decide which one has more precedence. You got to decide. Now, the great thing for you is that if you're trading the Rexdog system, I've done most of that work for you. Like, I've shared the rules and the probabilities and the indicators and the system. So you don't really have to figure much of that out. What you have to do is you have to take the system and adopt it to make it your own. And then you also have to then prove it to yourself that what I've discovered, what I've created, actually works. That's all you have to do. You don't take me at face value or faith. You basically say, hey, there's something here. There's edge in this system. But I need to prove to myself there's edge in this system. The only way you're going to prove that is by trading it or watching the markets and trading it in a demo at first. That's the only way you're going to prove it. I mean, I guess you can continue to watch my streams, but I don't know how much more I can do. I have green day after green day after green day. So it's like, you either think, I did have someone DM me and say, I just don't think it's possible. There's got to be some kind of scam here. I'm like, okay, I don't know how I could be possibly doing that, but you see me trade. I'm not really happy with my P&L today, just because, once again, to continue the thought, what did I do? You saw me exit all positions except the gold trade. When I was in that trade, I had to manage that trade because I wanted nothing else because I had to either decide, do I take the loss or do I trade myself out of this, or do I kind of wait for a pullback for one more opportunity for the market to give me an opportunity to get out at a lower loss or break even or make $60 like we did. But then even after that, what I realized is, okay, that trade has the potential to psychologically mess with me the rest of the rest of the session, because I'm only going to be trading till about 11, and then I'll do the afternoon. So what did I immediately start doing? I immediately start doing reducing my position sizes, not being aggressive with my trades, not revenge trading, not over trading. Even though I feel like I'm psychologically okay, I know. But also, what also did I do? What was I discussing at that time? There we go. We got the weekly open. This is the other reason why I don't use alerts, because it goes on and on and on and on. All right, there we go. So this transpired. We're only in one lot there. Now we're going to probably want to short this. I don't know where exactly we want to short it though, because the challenge with this move at this point in time is that it might be creating a weak level somewhere. And I guess I guess probably where it's going is the actual open of the NQ, which is right around 172. So on the NQ, see if the market internals give us any insight. Booyakasha. All right, so here we go. We're below the zero line, so that fits what we see in the day. We are below all of the 10-day rolling VWAPs on big tech. It's just starting to get into that. I think what we do is we actually start shorting this move. I think we got to take a little bit of risk here and actually scale in up to here. Got to take a little bit of risk. That's what we're going to do. Take a little bit of risk, scale in up to there. So that's what we do. They're up about $100 on that one lot in GC, or CL, sorry. So I'm reversing. I'm short now on the NQ, and I'm planning to scale in all the way up to 200 if I have to. I know it's a big range. You're like, damn, dude, we're only at 154. What the hell? I'm like, hey, I'm just telling you my plan. That's my plan. Only going to be trading the NQ. Everything else, they're set where they're at. We'll see. I should put a protective stop in some of these things. I don't know why I don't have that. That's the other thing that I usually have. I usually have a protective stop on these. Why is there 2 here? Oh, it's a stop limit. Okay. Probably should read. Sorry, I'm not updating in Discord. I mean, I'm assuming you're either on the live stream or you're watching. I mean, you're either listening or you're watching, or you have the stream in the background. But if you want me to update some positions, I can do that. Oh, I haven't checked BTC. Let's check BTC. Let's check the Bitcoin. Yeah, well, I think that's probably right on. You got a momentum check. Unfortunately, Bitcoin is, but you know, it might be reaching for 29.8. So that's something to kind of watch. You got the level right here, pretty defined, and it's been tested. 29.180 has been tested. So really, that's your line in the sand. That's your room. So yeah, I think that's a good trade. I agree. Shorting down to potentially, I mean, you know what level to watch. Watch your 60s. You know, watch the 60 level. Your next level for importance is right here, right around 29.348. What happens at 29.348 and what happens at 29.889, 839, 29.389 is really important. So, you know, your first level, your first immediate interest, if it gets there, is 351, spot 25. That's your first area of interest. So, yeah, 60. For clues, yeah, so, but then obviously if this level holds up here, then you're going to want to probably think about reversing if you see confirmation on maybe a 4-chart setup. Then obviously you've got this area down here at 232 with the line in the sand at 194. So, I mean, I would, I would be hoping, I'd look for the possibility that the trade might go down to here, but it would be a multi-candle event most likely. So, you know, if it gets there, it's probably going to be a 2 or 3 hour event. It's probably not going to be in one candle based on what we're seeing here. So that's something to consider. Although that we'd have this one big sell-off, but that was like, okay. Why is that? That was 3 in the morning. Must have been near the open. Yeah. Short one lot. I'd like to be short a little bit moreage. NG is that trade. Let's look and see at the NG what it's doing to us. Probably going to be picked up on the second. We get picked up on the second, I'll put in trailing stops and then just let that trade play out. It's either going to trade out or play out or not. Yeah, that's the other thing. I didn't even see that. I need to get an OR. All right, the NQ, you know, it's trying to remain momentum strong. You know, it's trying to maintain the weak open. I mean, we've got, obviously, the full gap fill would be up to here. So I think what I'm going to do is I'm just going to trail that stop. I'm going to get taken out. It seems like the buyers want to step up. I think probably what we do is let's actually go to the 15. And let's see what the underlying tells us. Let's go to Tesla. All right. Got momentum checks here. We got a gap on Tesla. Geez, look at all those ugly lines. Damn, I need to update this chart. So I'm testing. We're creating a 4-chart setup in TradingView, and I think one thing we're gonna probably get to is wrinkle bars. I think wrinkle bars. Well, the other bars that are in the running is point and figure. So damn it, dude, I did not want to change this chart to point and figure. I wanted to change this chart. So let's add 3. Boom. And let's do this one point and figure. I need to update all the indicators and everything so that there's not so many damn lines on this thing. The rent's too damn high. Whatever that dude used to say back in the day. All right, so these are the 2 charts that are in the running for potential non-time based charts. They are not as good as tick charts. So, you know, once again, TradingView's lacking. TradingView, for some reason, wants to actually not add tick charts because they're more focused on creating tarot cards than tick charts. Instead of tarot cards, maybe they should, I don't know, spend their time creating tick charts. But that's just my personal view of the situation. All right, we're up on one lot on CL. We have to kind of make a decision here on this NQ trade. The decision we have to make is it going to officially give up the weekly open there? Or is it going to, and I should have probably shorted that move, given that it was at a high reaction area. Or is it going to hold the weekly open and then go up and fill the full gap? Is it going to do a full gap fill? Probably the trade right now is actually
order filled,
trading down to this level. And then for another check at the RDA. The risk we have here right now at this point in time, given the time, is that it impulses down. And what it does is that we get a big red candle on chart 4 down to here, down to this level here. Sorry, I'm not showing the chart. I apologize. That's our kind of risk right now, is that we get a big impulse down to there. And then there's obviously the 5-minute. Look at all those trades, jeez. And then there's obviously a possibility that we might want to test 120. So, you know, you kind of need to be able to scale in down to what is a weak level. We've got that level there that has been breached, and it's been being tested and held. But it's really this level down here. It's 130 area that you kind of kind of need to be able to potentially scale into.
Order filled.
All right, I just don't like that. We'll miss this trade or wait to get picked up below. Not much interaction today. That must not be that entertaining or that exciting. So if you're new, you want to join Discord, we're only up today 4,500 or 4,400. So P&L wise, we're only up 4,400. $4.453. I'll do a gold analysis. What do you think of gold? Let's look at gold. Let's make sure that we're not. Oh, I was gonna say missed. I can't say that on the stream. What I was gonna say. That's for the Warrior Forum. I'll share what I was gonna say. Now that the Warrior Forum is completely private, I can now share things that I would ordinarily say. Sorry. I have to make myself laugh a lot of the times, so that's what the Warrior Forum is. And I'm going to respond to the AZJ post.
Order filled.
Gonna get it canceled from that. All right. Oh yeah, I wasn't sure if you wanted to be added, so I will add you. I added to people that distinctly. Oh, a C day. I'll respond to your Delta journals too. Damn it! I'm being skittish with my trades on the actual. Ooh, look at that! Look at that NG trade. That's really popping, as the kids say. It's probably going for the opening range low. Let's get out of that.
Order filled.
Took a $200 loss on that. We're up about 300 on the. I just don't like the way that NG trade is playing out. The next high probability trade is probably up here. We'll use our 5. We'll use our 5 as actually our what's the word I'm looking for? And we want to trade in lots of 3. I don't want to trade in lots of 2. What am I doing? We'll use our 5 as our control, as our thesis for this trade. I'm looking at the 4 chart setup, so it aligns with the other charts. It's not something I'm just making up. Let's add that person to Warrior. Take some time to do that, because obviously that's more important than trading, is making sure that we have the Warrior the Warrior channel filled with the people that want to be in it. Yeah, it should have been long there. Absolutely. We'll add you as well. Ah, look at that NQ trade. Yeah. We kind of missed out on that trade, didn't we? We sure did. It's a sad world, man. It's a sad world. It's like that Disney ride. What is it? What's that Disney ride in Disney? It's a, like, I don't know if you've ever been to Disney World or Disneyland, and I don't really know what the difference is. But, you know, it's that song. I think we're going to trade up to the next level. So we're going to get a little aggressive on some of our entries here on the NQ, because it looks like the buyers want to actually step up. I might regret this here, but I think that, you know, we got the opening range there. So I think that's kind of what's happening. And then you've got the NQ weekly open at 124. Maybe that's where it's trying to go. Maybe it's trying to test the liquidity up there, if we want to talk all fancy. You know, if we want to talk all fancy. I gotta know your name to actually do that. All right, once again, I chased the trade, and I'm not gonna be happy for it. So we're not gonna get as aggressive on our next entry.
Order filled.
Yeah. So now this literally is at a point now where we have to kind of scale in down to here. Let's trade the levels. So right here is the next trade that exists is here. You know, this is no longer really a fade trade. It's now a momentum trade. It's just a matter of, okay, is it going to aggressively sell off here? The 60s recaptured bias and momentum. So, and it didn't tag the level. You know, our next strong level above is right around that 195. So this is a trade probably we're going to have to give at least 15-20 minutes on, if not longer, probably to actually roll out. So that's something to keep in mind on this NQ trade. If you look at the timeline of like how much, what is the, it's probably 15 to 30 minutes on this trade. That if it's gonna impulse up and go up, that's probably the probability of what that trade looks like. We'll see. Hopefully I don't get knocked out, or not hopefully, I don't want to use that verbiage. I don't want the market to knock me out on that CL trade, but, you know, we'll see. I should make some coffee. What time is it? All right, any questions? Anybody have any questions? Been relatively quiet today. Maybe, you know, if you are ready to start and get started with the Rexdog trade system, one of the best things you can do, join Discord down below and send me a DM and ask to get started. You just can't join the system. I talk to everybody before you get started. Just, you know, we're really careful about who we let in the community, and I want to make sure you have the right mindset to actually be a successful trader, at least from what I can tell just by quick questions. Look, I'm not going to do a super exam. It's more just I get a general gut feel of like, okay, are you going into this with the right mindset? That's really what I care about. I care about, are you stepping into becoming an alpha with the right mindset? And I understand too that, like, you have to maybe grow into the right mindset, but you at least need to have some kind of baseline, like, understanding that the main thing I'm looking for is I don't want anybody that thinks it's a magic button. So, like, if you're a magic button, or if you think that trading is a magic button, and I don't want anybody that is expecting signals. So we might get there. I'm just sharing that. I've been sharing just here and there that we've been working on things that I don't readily share, because I don't like to I like to act and not talk. But the problem is I'm so excited about some of the things that we're working on that, like, I want to share, but I'm not going to share them until it's official. So maybe there might be a time sometime in the future, possibly, where members will get the opportunity to have signals. Maybe. I'm just saying it's possible. High probability signals, for instance. Ooh, look at that volatility. Something hitting the market. All right. What's going down? All right. We'd like to see that, because that tells us that there's some kind of move in the works when you see high volatility like that, especially on chart 2. The challenge is we don't really have any cause to get in and deeper to this position than where we are until this next test down here, because we're already kind of arguing with at least just chart 2. We're no longer arguing with chart 3. We're no longer arguing with chart 4. We're no longer arguing with chart 1. We are in momentum, but we also need to make sure that we enter at the proper area.
Order filled.
Okay. Well, we'll scale in more down here at the actual real level. That's where we expect the biggest reaction, down here. Right now I don't like this entry, and it looks like we're going to get knocked out of our should have probably, well, we should have traded more than one lot, but I was waiting for the more probable trade up here. So what we're going to do on the
Stop filled.
we're stopped out of that CL trade. So what we're going to do is we're going to trade 3 lots up here where we really should be trading. And then that's going to be on chart 4 is our control on that trade, on the CL trade. The problem with that is that if it's going to move up there, it's probably going to impulse up maybe to the next level. But so we need to put a protective stop up here. Now I have to make a decision here on chart 2 on the NQ. Do I get out of this trade at a minimum loss, start over down below, or do I stay in it for the perspective that it's going to change over in chart 2? But 3 of our charts tell us that we're in line with momentum, so it's kind of like at this point in time the only answer really is to be patient, and the only answer is to be patient to the point of, okay, we've got to we really got to just be patient as far as let the trade work out, and then in a way what you're doing is on the pullbacks your plan to properly trade this, your plan is for pullbacks, because chart 2 is in a changeover state. Chart 2 is not momentum long or biased. I mean, it's still, yeah, it's actually momentum short, and it just lost bias. So, you know, chart 2 is giving us early warning that maybe there might be a sell-off here. So this is kind of an interesting area to trade because it's lost the weekly, and it's a fight between the weekly and momentum. So, you know, it did overshoot the weekly. It's got the gap. So you're kind of in between these two areas. So your entries have to be extremes. They can't be chasing the trade. Hi. You can't be chasing the trade. You have to enter extremes. You have to use the predictive nature of the trade system that you have. I'm saying that time and time again. The system that you trade, members, is a predictive trade system. It's so you need to use the predictive nature of the trade system. You know, I don't like the entries that I have here necessarily.
Order filled. Order filled.
But we're trading 3 charts out of 1. But, you know, we're about to get an answer on chart 4 whether or not it's going to use that lower area or it's going to use the momentum check here. 60-minute doesn't look great because it's coming all the way back to the open. So what do you want to see on the 60? You want to see that open protected. It's pretty clear. Once again, that's why we use the 4 chart layout. Go back to YouTube. Chart 2 is CLGC. Yeah, so sorry. I'm watching the index too. Chart 1 is the NQ. Chart 2 is CL. Chart 3 is GC, gold. Chart 4 is Henry Hub, natural gas, NatGas, NG. Look at that NG trade. It actually did sell off in our zone, but let's stick to high probability trades here. We're in 5 lots on the NQ. Probably can add 1 more there.
Order filled.
We are at a momentum check on chart 2, so it's just a matter of on chart 2. Once again, when I say chart 2, it's not these charts. You know, it's the 4 chart setup that members trade. So when I say chart 2, that's the chart 2 I'm referencing. I'm not referencing the charts that you see. I show just the 5-minute charts. That's one of our charts of our 4 chart setup. But yeah, so I just show that chart. I just showed those charts. So now we're getting an opportunity to either stay with this trade or break even. Like I said before, the 3 of the charts tell us that we probably should be a little patient on here. But you know, it is a little frustrating to kind of enter a trade a little bit early and then not scale in. The truth of the scale in is that, you know, with your scale ins, most of your entries shouldn't get picked up. So this trade, what's the room for this trade? Once again, I'm continuing to talk through the process because I've heard from members that, you know, one of the things that helps them is that I talk through the process. Well, it's the NDX really. It's like, okay, it did a momentum check. You see that? NDX did a momentum check. That's what I was trading. And then it's trying to recapture the open. What's our thesis for the trade? Well, we know that we got a level here. Any week 1 trader can see that. So we know we got 063. So if it does want to go and test an upper level, 063 is the first level. We would expect maybe some reaction. Other than that, it's maybe trying to do a full gap fill. Maybe that's what it's trying to do. If we look at the internals, I got distracted looking at Tesla, Apple. You know, all these charts here, Apple, Meta, they're kind of in mixed states. Nvidia, yeah, they're kind of in, I mean, they're all more momentum and bias long. I know there's a lot of lines on here, so I need to I need to modify these charts because I can't even read them. All right. So there we go. We got, and what time is it? It's 10:30. So we're 2 hours. 2 hours and the market's gone. Is a potential pivot here. So that's the only challenge with this trade right here, is that we're at a potential pivot time because there's 2 hours in the market. So one of the things you probably want to do when you get another hour bar is maybe look and see what the hour's, doing. Look at that. The hour perfectly closed right on the damn weekly open. Like, don't tell me that these levels don't matter. Like, number one, you might say, oh yeah, but it traded up there. Yeah, I get that. But the close is the statement. The close is what matters. I mean, it perfectly closed right on the week open. Now, unfortunately, this next candle is pulling back. Now, the difference, the one thing you need to have in mind is obviously, screw you. Sorry, not
Order
you.
filled.
But the one thing you should probably keep in mind is that obviously the NQ candle still has 27 minutes in it. So the NQ candle is painting differently than the actual NDX candle. So that's something to maybe consider. Another thing to consider is what is the NQ candle compared to tell you compared to what the actual NDX candle, the 60-minute candle, is telling you. Look, the market's giving you clues. And if you're discombobulated or you're saying this is too difficult, look, you're actually really fortunate, because the only information you need to be concerned about is on the chart. You don't need to be following news, message boards, Bloomberg in the background. You don't need a Bloomberg terminal. You don't need any of this crap. All you need is the charts. And then you just need to decide which one of the charts, which combination of charts do you need to make decisions so that you can consistently and reliably pull capital from the market. It's really simple. It doesn't get more complex than that. It's complex, but it's simple, but it still takes obviously a while to master. It's not like, I wouldn't, what? Could I give you a guitar and say, okay, play, what is the song that's banned? Play Stairway to Heaven, right? Now, if you never touched a guitar, could you pick up the guitar and play Stairway to Heaven? Probably not. I'd be very surprised if you could. Damn. Is that a Bitcoin sell-off? Holy shnikey the Mikey. This NQ trade, while I said I have to be patient, I'm a little annoyed by it. It's almost a risk being in this trade at this point in time. Yeah. That's the problem. It's more riskier being in this trade at this point in time than it is. But we're kind of at the decision zone. So problem is my basis is too low or too high. We're not going to add to this trade until lower. Like, it's either going to come down to this next area here, 129 or so, or it's not. So there's nothing to do between here and that area. Like like this is the discipline that it takes to properly kind of scale into a position and trade yourself out of a trade, is that you have rules on how many candles, for instance, or how many entries you can have per candle. You don't trade and wait, why do I have an alert on NDX? Oh, that's why. Is that what you were sharing? Oh no. Yeah, damn, that BTC move. Let's look at BTC. I probably shouldn't use the super chart that I'm trying to look at, this chart here, because this chart is absolutely ugly. So let's open up another chart. That's our crypto all. Let's open up the ideas chart. So where is that at? It's recent. There it is. Let's open up the ideas chart. That has pretty much just the base level system on it. Let's look at Bitcoin. We're back in profit on that NQ trade. Oh, okay, not really. We're back in 000, $70 in profit. There we go. Just had to be patient for that to work out. We'll see if it's going to continue. It does feel like it will, but you know what? We don't trade feels around here. We trade charts. Still below the zero line. So we need to be mindful of any move up is probably going to be met with the sell side at some point in time. We are starting to capture some of big tech, starting to capture some of the rolling VWAPs. It's got 6, 2, 3, and 4 and 7 to really capture. I think at this point in time, I don't go negative on this trade, so let's just put some one lot trailing stops in our 7 positions. If we get knocked out, get knocked out. At this point in time, like, I don't really want to take a loss on this trade. So there we go. We'll put a few of our trailing stops below our entry because I think it's going to move up. But then we'll remove all the bids from that using a hotkey. It's just it's not committing to this move. So like,
stop fill.
We didn't have the best entry here. So let's just not stick around to the trade when it might sell off. Might continue up, but at this point, there we go. We're starting to see some movement there. Sorry, I'm not showing my trades. I apologize. Damn it. I forget that all the time. There we go. Guess I should have just been a bit more patient with some of that. We're still in 6 lots, up about $1,200. Trailing our stops, just putting trail stops at kind of various locations right around the entry, and we'll get knocked out on our trailing stops. We do expect a reaction up here right at the level at 157.75 on the NQ. Right now we're up. Let's show the position so you can actually see it. We're up about $1,700, $1,800. Trading the RecStock system. RecStock system for the win. That is a straight up momentum trade right there. I'm pretty proud of myself that I actually followed the system and I didn't like fight the system. Read the system correctly, read the 60 correctly, read the NDX correctly, did a momentum trade, didn't fade the market, was a little patient. So I'm pretty let's see what this is. I do check these TradingView things because I'm waiting for the one day. I'm never going to make a TradingView Wizards. They're never going to, like, no matter if I had numbers that beat all these, I'll never be a TradingView Wizard. I'm kind of guaranteeing it now that I badmouth them so much. I'm just really upset. I take personally that they haven't added tick charts. I just take it very personally. Like, because I like the platform a lot. Introducing the new markets page, a comprehensive view of financial markets. Okay, so it's a waste of time. Well, let's see. Markets everywhere. Success requires research. No, it doesn't. Starts with your real-time feeds from exchanges across the globe. Success just takes the ability to read charts. Okay. This is kind of cool, actually. All right. This is kind of cool. I mean, there's other... FinViz does it better, but this is kind of cool. In case you don't know what FinViz is, let's visit FinViz in a second. We're up about 1660. We might get knocked out on some of these trailing stops, but it's at a reaction zone. We do want to take some profit. I will move some of these trailing stops down a little bit. We'll give it a little bit more room. See if we can ride a couple of these lots up. We will move one of these trailing stops below the momentum check, give it an opportunity to check momentum. That's kind of where our stops are. All right, we're balling. Once again, up about $2,000. That's good. It's probably going for the weekly open. That's probably where we'll think about shorting the market. But really where the short zone exists is I'd like to ride as much of this trade or maybe re-enter some positions if it merits it up to 196.25. It's what I'd prefer to do if that works out in our favor, but we'll see. Once again, if you're new here, you want to join Discord, links below. You'll see join Discord. If you are ready to trade the best trade system on the planet, send me a DM or visit the website. You'll see a link that says get started. And, you know, ask you a few questions, and then I'll share with how to get started. I am glad that I actually did a momentum trade and didn't fade the trade. My usual mode of operation probably would have been to fade that move. I know you can't see because all my sell stops here, but we're probably up about, I don't know, $2,000 or so. Did we get picked up on anything else? No. We were too aggressive on that GC trade, weren't we? Look at that. Just missed our entry by a couple ticks. That little bastard. So we're going to get out. That's no longer valid. We're up roughly 2,400 on this trade. Oh, that's pretty sweet. Keep going, man. There you go. You got this. You can do it. You got the strength. Maybe we will be able to ride it all the way up to that level. It's going to tag the weekly open. I expect a reaction there. So I'll probably take... We'll see what happens when it gets up there. That's the NQ weekly open, is not the NDX. If we look at the NDX and we see what that's doing. Okay, that's not the NDX. That's not the NDX. This is the NDX. Recapture the weekly open. Going for the gap fill. That gap fill probably aligns with where the weekly open is on the NQ. Why is that week open different there? Oh, it's not different. That's not the week open. That's a day open. Oh, no, it is a week open too. The week open's up here. I apologize. This is a day open. This is the day open up here. I apologize. I was misreading the chart. So the week open, yeah, I thought it was higher. Here's the week open. So, you know.
Stop filled.
Yeah. They get stopped out at 2 lots. No, 1 lot. Yeah. Don't want to give it too much room to pull back here. I'd like to maximize some of that 2,000 profit. So FinViz does a kind of a similar thing to what you know, TradingView is doing. Try to do a little bit. I mean, not the same exactly, but if you go to FinViz, for instance. You know, this does if you haven't seen this site, it's a scanner website. Oh, do they have crypto scans now? Or have they always had it? No, they don't have crypto scans. They just friggin' show crypto. I don't know why it's so hard to create a crypto scanner. Like, am I going to have to create this crap myself? I'm probably going to have to create something real. So I use StockFetcher.
Stop filled.
StockFetcher is better than FinViz. Because FinViz doesn't allow you to really get dynamic with your screener. So this screener is okay. It's okay. Except that it doesn't allow you to really get... I mean, you can do some custom stuff. Like in here. You can do some of this. You can do charts. It has some things that is actually nice comparatively to what StockFetcher is. But StockFetcher still is much more powerful. You know... So what's our P&L today? Where are we at? 4,500, and we're up about 1,400. So we'll see if this looks like it's going to pull back much deeper than it is. It is testing the weekly open, or the day open for the NQ. So we'll get knocked out, and then I will add back to the position if we get totally knocked out down here. But I should have. I don't know why I didn't. Knowing that it was approaching that day open, I should have took some off just to maximize the profit instead of getting knocked out on a pullback. All right, I can cancel these bids. They're no longer valid. GC, we will look at GC. We'll look at kind of like, well, so GC, I would say that it's hitting the RDA and the 5. That's the first test. First test is the best. We should trade that. So let's trade the GC trade. Bam. Where are we at? Don't like the level. The best entry is right here. That's the best entry in overshoot. That's the best entry. It's kind of into that next candle too. So we're already there anyways. So that's the best entry. So we'll do that. See if we get picked up on that. So that entry on GC is right around, where are we at? 2000 spot 7. You know, the real entry probably would be, we probably should do one entry up here. So 2001 spot 8. So we'll do one entry there. Raise that up a little bit. Just for a participation trade to get added to the trade. Damn it.
Stop filled.
Stupid NQ sold off. Little bastard. I'm maximizing my profit. Taking some of my profit away. Oh, jerk. What do you do when you don't stream? Do you keep looking at the chart? If not, then what do you do? Lazy Trader asked on, so I'll answer. I answered this already on the stream. So, but I'll answer it again for the Lazy Trader on YouTube. What do you do when you don't stream? Do you keep looking at the chart? If not, then what do you do? Real quick, I do exactly what you see. I put entries. I don't use alerts because I just hate having to reset them. I hate how the alerts work on TradeOvate, and I hate how they work on TradingView. So what I do is I do use one lot positions at high probability trade areas, and then I go do other stuff. I'm writing a novel. I write screenplays. I'm working on that. I have an entertainment company that I started. I work on training. I interact with members. I do other things. I make coffee. I hang out with Rex the dog. I, get up. I've been kind of sitting here for the last 2 hours or so just trading. I've done other things. So I'm writing, for instance, I shared earlier. I'm going to do a kind of a webinar, but a Q&A on the exact mindset that you need to be a successful trader. So if you're not in Discord and you want to attend that, I'm probably not going to stream it on YouTube. We might. But at this time, I might just make it a Discord exclusive. So I want to focus on, like people that actually we can interact with, we can talk to, so we're doing things in Discord, for instance, just because that's the platform we decided is the best for the community to interact. We did get picked up on a GC trade, that one pullback. So once again, that wasn't the best entry area. But it's a participation trade, and a participation trade is basically that's where we expect a reaction, and the chart actually might move there. But the best trade is to wait for the full lot position, the 3 lot position, down at 2000 spot 7. So that's kind of the best trade area. So what I do is I don't watch the charts. I have it up. I have multiple monitors in my man cave. I have like 6, and then where I'm trading now, I have 3 4K monitors. So when I'm not streaming, the charts are up. On one monitor, there's what you see, which is like the 5-minute charts. And then I'm doing other things. And then I have the volume up loud enough. I have protective stops in. I have the volume loud enough that if I'm out doing something else or whatever, I hear order filled. And then that when I hear order filled, that tells me the chart deserves my attention. Other than that, these charts don't deserve my attention at all because they're not in an area that the Rexdog trade system tells you is a high probability trade area. So when I stream, the difference is Like, I'm not going to be like one of those dudes like I talked before that talks about peanut. I mean, I will, but like, I need to be trading and pulling capital from the market and not talking about peanuts, right? Don't you feel your brain occupied with trades, not stressed out? No, I'm not stressed at all. No. I mean, part of it is because I trade a highly effective system. So you asked the lazy trader asked, don't you feel your brain occupied with trades? No stress at all? No. Because they're managed. So like look, here's the benefit that you get if you actually join the training and you adopt my system. I've figured out much of the risk and the psychology of how to trade the markets for you. And I put it into the system, into a technical system on how to trade the markets. So, like, I specifically talk about trading in thirds. And I specifically talk about, like, how to manage your trades. Like, you see me do it. Like, right now, I could step away from the charts, and I'm not fully protected because a black swan event could happen. I mean, for instance, right here on the NG trade, I don't have a protective stop, so I wouldn't step away from the chart without a protective stop. On the NQ, on the GC trade, I don't have a protective stop on the one lot that we're in because I'm still waiting to get picked up on this 3 lots down here. But as we see here, we're getting an initial reaction at the RDA on that chart. So on the GC trade, see, I'm up $70. We're getting an initial reaction. Now what I'll do, how I'm not stressed at all, is basically I'll go to the GC chart and I'll put a trailing stop in for 1 lot. I don't need to worry about it anymore. Now obviously some things can happen, of course, like technology breaks, things happen. Well, that's one of the reasons why I created the Delta Group, because when you start trading live capital, you need to have contingency plans. You need to have multiple vectors to get to your broker. You need to know how to call them on the phone immediately. They need to be on speed dial, and it needs to be more than a cell phone. You need to have almost a burner phone. You need to have a burner phone on a different network than your main primary phone. It's something I didn't share with you, Tony. I got a burner phone that's on a different network from my main phone. Used to have one of the landlines, but like that was too extreme. Probably should. Because if you think about it, like, it's happened to me 3 times before. Once during the COVID sell-off, where I was in a pretty substantial trade in the NQ and actually gold, and I couldn't connect to the broker. I couldn't connect via mobile phone if I would use the mobile phone on the app. I couldn't connect on my auxiliary connection, and for some reason my phone was not, I had to restart my phone. So like, that's when I'm like, damn, I should really have just a landline. I mean, it costs like what, $10 a month or whatever it is, like, because those things don't go down. Even with an EMP attack, your phone lines probably will stay up, probably with an EMP attack, maybe. Your phone probably will be broke, but if you have a protected phone, the lines will most likely work in an EMP attack. Now, I'm talking, obviously, if there's an EMP attack, I've got bigger problems than probably getting out of my trade. But I'm sharing the level of, like, when you start trading real capital, serious capital, like, you don't take it lightly. You have contingencies. So, yeah, I'm not stressed because all of my trades are managed. I've got my trailing stops in. If I got an entry, I have protective stops. Obviously, I don't on this one right here, this buy limit here on crude oil. So I should put a protective stop in there. And a protective stop is exactly kind of what it says. It's, I don't want it to be hit, but like if that trade, if it just rips down because half of Saudi Arabia is in revolt and it just rips down, well, yeah, it's going to take me out. It's going to be painful, but it's only going to take me out on 1 lot. This is only going to take me out on 3 lots, right? It's not going to, it'll ruin my afternoon or whatever, my morning, but like, I mean, it's not going to really ruin it. It just, I won't like it. I'll be pissed at the market, but then I'll trade the reaction. Like if it ripped down here and it took me out right away, I'd be like, holy crap, something's happened and volatility's hit. Okay, time to friggin', put your big boy pants on, or whatever we want to say. Get on the horse and like start trading this thing. I love volatility. Everybody should love volatility. You should hate when the markets actually don't move. Like you have no opportunity when the markets don't move. Like your job is to be a trader. You're a speculator. Like just think about how awesome that is. You are a speculator. You are in a time where you can sit in your home or somewhere and speculate on the market and pull capital from the market and put it in your pocket. Like, what a time to be alive. Like, so I don't know did I answer your question without getting too high-minded? Part of it too is I trade a system that's highly reliable. So like when you trade a system that's highly reliable, that you trade with conviction, you don't get stressed out. I would have liked to stay in these trades a little bit longer, obviously, because this NQ trade is continuing to move up, but we're up about $1,300. We're up about $160 on that one lot on the actual. So you look at all the trades we're in, quote unquote, we're kind of guaranteed to make profit. The lazy trader asked on YouTube, haha, right on how many years it took you to become a profitable trader. So I started in 2016 while I still had a software as a service business. And then midway through that 2016, I didn't make enough money to become profitable. It took me about 8 months to figure out how to become profitable in Forex. But I didn't have enough money. So what I had to do, which was extremely annoying, and this will be in the mindset Q&A. I'm going to share specifically why some of you are in this immovable mountain situation. I had an immovable mountain. I didn't have enough money, or I wasn't making enough money. Okay, we got stopped out of the one of the NQ trades, and then we're still in the actual GC trade. I'm just looking at the charts real quick. All right, so that was a daily open. So we do expect a reaction there. I don't really want to sell the NQ until up here. That's where I want to sell the NQ, 194 spot 25. So I didn't make enough money in my software as a service business because I wasn't paying attention to it. I hated the business. It started declining in revenue, so I had to make a decision. This will be a longer answer, so hopefully you're up for that. I had to make a decision.
Stop field.
Like, how do I transition? I don't make enough trading. I'm not good enough, and I still have these psychological problems. Like, what do I do? So what I did is I said, okay, my team, I had a limited team. I said, what I'm going to do, you cannot contact me between, well, let's use market time, 9:30 and 10:45. I'm not available. It's like 9:15 and 10:45. I'm not available. And then I'm not available from, the last hour of the market. And what I got good at in both Forex and futures, because then I started trading futures. And I was trading crypto as well. So I was also trading crypto. I mean, I was pretty much, you have to understand me, I think I'm somewhere on the spectrum, because like when I get into something, I get obsessed about it. So like and one of my regrets that I have, which I'll talk about in the mindset, is that I was often present and we got knocked out of the GC trade. So we'll wait to get picked up on maybe a pullback. And then we're still in one lot in the NQ trade. So while I was present at places, or while I was there physically, I wasn't present mentally because I was focused on trading, or I was in a trade in crypto and I was looking at my phone. I'd be at parties and stuff or hangouts, and like I wasn't present. So, one of the things I'll talk about in the mindset is that your family's an immovable mountain. You can't put trading before your family. Look at that NQ trade. It's moving. Our sales zone is so what I had to design is I can only trade 2 hours a day. And then the rest of the time I have to focus on my business because that income has to continue, but I hated it. And I couldn't find anybody to buy it. Probably because I was putting out that bad vibes because I just didn't enjoy it anymore. I saw the huge potential in trading. I did that for quite a while. And then till about late 2017 is where I solidified becoming profitable. And it was a couple months after my last. I'd never really had physical. Keep in mind too, I have cancer. I have terminal cancer, and around this time I was starting to have initial things of my cancer, but I didn't know. Over the last, since that time, I've had major cancer surgery for colorectal cancer. I was in the hospital for 21 days. I get treatment every 2 weeks. So my treatment cycle is next week. I'm going to get treatment next week. So I still get treatment for terminal cancer. So not only during me transitioning from like 2018, I was starting to have these early signs of what was colorectal cancer that I ignored because I'm a man and I'm dumb. So like that lasted for quite a while as well. So, but I was profitable relatively quickly compared to other traders. I have the ability to probably, well, number one, I was fanatical about just figuring it out. And then about the time that I started my YouTube channel, I was solidly profitable. There was no doubt in my mind that I wasn't where I'm at. I mean, I wasn't near where I'm at now, but I was like consistently green days. If I had a red day, it was rare. So that's I always was like, for instance, in my business, I did a podcast circuit. That was back before podcasts were cool. I was probably on 60 or 70 podcasts. I had, a YouTube channel. I had other stuff. So I was already out there. So when I launched YouTube, I just kind of like did it as a extension of my journal, and then also sharing passion. And then I kind of did want to create a community because I spent over 50 or 60 grand probably on training. The number keeps going up because I'm realizing some training that I bought that I forgot about. That's the other drain on my capital, is that I was taking business income and buying training to learn trading. And then, oh, look at that. We got some volatility there. Okay. Now we got to decide, what do we do? We're in no trades. What do we do? We stop the story and we figure out, what do we do? I've been watching the charts this whole time too. So yeah, it took me about 2 years. And then 2 years. Then since 2018, the RDTS was officially born, the Rex Dog Trade System. And then since then, I rarely have red days. And for those that say, oh, I read in a book somewhere, that's not possible. Okay. I don't know. Go to my streams. Look at my P&L page. I share my P&L and I stream. So it's either I don't know. I don't know what else to tell you. I show it every day. So like, not much more I could do. So you're seeing it live in real time. And the only time you don't see it live in real time is when I take a break during lunch, and then I share my trades, what I'm doing in Discord. So it's like, I don't know what to tell you, man. Like, you can disbelieve your eyes if you want to. That's why I think some people, here's the thing. I'll give you a gut check right now whether or not you're going to be a successful trader. If you watch me and you think that there's some kind of magic going on, or it's not possible, maybe trading isn't for you. All right? If you watch my streams and you say, there's something like, I watched every one of his streams and he has green days every time I watch. There's got to be something here. And I get it. You should be skeptical. If things are too good to be true, you should be skeptical. And I'm not asking you to trust me. I'm just saying, what more do you want me to do? You want access to all my bank accounts? At that point in time, I should just let you come over and, I'm not going to say that. But at that time, maybe you should just come over and whatever happened in Braveheart, right? That scene in Braveheart where the vassal guy tried to, do his rights on the wedding, right? Maybe I should just allow you to do that. So look, I'm not here to convince you. My why is deeper than you guys could comprehend. Not comprehend. I said that in a degrading manner. My why, none of you will believe or don't believe probably on why I do this. So, like, because I know for some of you, I don't make sense. Dude has terminal cancer, supposedly a successful trader, right? This is what you're thinking. Dude has terminal cancer, supposedly a successful trader, but then he's not traveling the world and he's not out there on yachts with supermodels. Like, what the hell is this dude's problem? Like, if I was this dude, I'd have a rollie on both arms. I'd have, you know, I'd have a McLaren. I'd have this, and then there'd be supermodels feeding me grapes while my butler comes over, you know, and gives me a 5-course breakfast, right? I'm sure that's what you're thinking. I don't know why that's what you're thinking. I'm sure some people are thinking that. Well, the way I live my life is aligned with what I find important. Money is in there, but comparatively, when you have something like terminal cancer, you know, the reason why you do things are different. I mean, I'll be taking off here for a couple days, or about 10 days or so next month. Actually, I'll be hanging out with my nephew. And then this weekend, I won't be around. We've got plans this weekend. So, you know, we travel, we do things. But we also have other things in our lives that have precedence over me being on the yacht with supermodels. We're in one lot on this NQ trade. We bought that pullback on chart 2. I wasn't sure if it was going to sell off more, but we're just doing a participation trade. Where are we at for the day? Let's just do it. And the other thing that I don't ever have my P&L when I'm trading. So thanks now. Yeah, I was till I got the indicators and it's good. No. Yeah, I mean, look, it's more than the indicators, right? It's the rules, it's the philosophy, it's how to trade it. So the indicators are one thing, but it's actually the rules that are developed around the indicators and how you trade the system that actually gives it the superpower. It's the 4-chart setup, it's other things. So yeah, I've been profitable since 2018. I've been sharing my P&L, which you can see on my website, since last year. I've only been adding it up for the people that can't add since this year. So I don't know where we're at. That's where we're at so far in 2023, at least what I publicly stream. Every one of this P&L is publicly streamed or publicly shared ongoing in Discord.
Stop filled.
So this P&L, you could go back and see how that P&L was made. I don't share any of my other P&L on my swing trades. I don't share my P&L on my crypto trades. I don't share my P&L on my option trades. I don't share my P&L on my Forex trades. Because, like, I don't have the time. That's the other thing. I don't care to share it all. Like, you know, all right, we're out of that trade. Damn it, Jim. Crude oil, we're looking to get picked up. We're looking to sell Henry up here. We're looking to, well, GC, we're still looking for this entry here. So we're kind of lonely over there. The problem with that entry is that we're so close to the VWAP, or we're halfway between the RDA and the VWAP, that if it's going to do that, then it's probably going to. So the question is, I think at this point in time, do we get back into the NQ trade, which I think we do.
Order filled.
A relatively close trailing stop. Do we sell GC, which I think we do. I think we sell GC. So let's do 3 lots on GC.
Order filled. But
what we're going to do on GC is that we're not going to give it much room, because I do see a sell-off potential there. It's at a momentum check on the 5. It's between momentum and bias, so it could be an over and changeover in momentum and bias. So we're shorting GC in 3 lots. And what we're going to do in GC is we're not going to give it much room. So what we're going to do is we're going to take out our entry here and our protective stop down below. Now this is chart 2. Chart 2 is hitting a momentum check as well. We do have the RDA on chart 4, so I actually need to scale into this trade up to here. So now the question is gold going to do me wrong again? That's the question. Gold, are you going to do me wrong again? So what we're going to do on gold is we're going to plan to scale in up to 2006 spot 4. Probably need to plan to scale in a little bit above that. Let's stay there. So we're going to plan to scale in up there, and then what I'm going to do is that I'm going to just put protective stops up here for the total position. Oh. $11.11. Once again, looked at the clock at 11:11. Like I said, like I shared before, at some time that yeah. So I would expect if the NQ is going to go up, that the CL is going to sell off. Those stops are actually way higher than actually I want them. So we'll put them up here. So now, actually, I'll just divvy them up into 2 lots instead of that. So the only issue, the reason why I'm moving to Sierra chart is because Trding doesn't really let you do advanced type of things with your orders. And Sierra, well, there's many reasons why I'm moving to Sierra chart, but that's one of the reasons. We're down about 270 on that GC trade, mainly because I entered right away and didn't wait for the actual high probable RDA check on chart 4. So that was the main reason why we're down on that trade. So, but we've got a plan to manage that trade, and we'll trade accordingly. I will be dropping off the stream here in about 5 minutes probably. I need a break. And I'll stream again in the afternoon, I think. Right now, if we do a P&L check, P&L should be much better than that. I'm still skittish from that GC trade, though, if I'm honest with myself. Because I got aggressive on that thing, and then my aggressiveness didn't pay off. Why would there be an error posting that? What you're, for those that are new, what you're really seeing is you're seeing someone in the midst of not trading their typical style, because I have a negative, because I've strayed too far from the system. So I'm in adjustment mode with my
Stop
trading.
field.
So, part of me feels that my P&Ls are typically in the 20 to 30 range when I'm spot on, when I'm trading good. And then, I'm trading very well. They're 60 to 100 days. But the last couple weeks have been, kind of a mix between these kind of low 3,000 all the way up to like $15,000 days. And it's a direct result of me just working on dealing with trading too far away against the system and being arrogant with my trading. And I'm still arrogant with my trading a little bit. So I call it arrogance. I don't know how else to define like how I trade aggressively. So I'm working on removing the arrogance from my trading. And like there's been 2 or 3 times today where I'm like, oh, I should go big. I mean, I've got the 30 lot button ready to go. So there's a trade here where there's one trade here where I want, like, back here on this pullback around what is that? What was that pullback at? Let's see. This pullback to the RDA on chart 2, right there at 165 spot 50. I almost just hit 30. I was like, that's a perfect setup. Like, and of course, within like, I don't know, within 90 seconds, I would have been in profit. So that was, but I'm, once again, I'm still skittish from this GC trade. And once again, GC's kind of biting me too by being too aggressive on this trade. So we're going to actually exit that trade. Oh, come
Order filled. Order filled.
Yeah. I'd rather take a loss on that thing at this point in time. Because the other...
Order filled. Order filled.
Missed the best entry on the NQ trade. We're shorting NQ. Level check. That's kind of what we've been waiting for. That zone, right? Been waiting for that zone. So that's our high probability sell area. You know, we're pretty close to the weekly levels, so, or, you know, that's the other thing. If it does want to stretch, we need to plan to scale into that. We are long on one GC. I just reversed. I got out and then I reversed. Because I just, you know, once again, that trade was not going in my favor. Bad entry. I should have just got out earlier. The second that I realized that it wasn't a great entry. And then planned it to actually enter at the right area. The high probability area, which is up here. High probability area for this trade is right here. So we'll put one lot and then we'll put one protective stop. That's the high probability trade. No, we're not going to put that. It's actually a little bit lower. That's our GC trade. And then obviously we're in one lot, so we'll put a little trailing stop, but we'll probably get knocked out for it. Then we're in 3 lots for the NQ trade, but we're looking to get picked up potentially for another check, and then we'll plan a 30 lot trade up here if it gets up there. I probably don't even need to put that in the market. We should just wait for it to get up there. We'll stream till 11:30 and then I'll cut it. Probably be in the midst of an NQ trade that might be decent, meaning like it might be a couple thousand. People relatively quiet on TradingView today. We're up about $300 on that trade on the NQ. We're looking to get picked up on this crude oil futures, kind of a key level at the 5-minute. At least that's our, we'll then look at the 4 chart setup and make our decision from there. Well, well, well. What are you going to do, NQ? Are you going to sell off more? Buyers have stepped up a little bit today. I'll give them that. They've stepped up.
Stop filled.
Stopped out of the GC trade. NQ, we're just waiting for that to either sell off more or come and pick us up higher. Guess at this point we probably shouldn't take a loss on that thing, so let's just put some trailing stops in that. So let's put some trailing stops in the NQ now that we're in profit. There we go. Up about $400 on that trade. Not bad. Not a bad trade there, I guess. Would have been like to be more size. You'll see I'm not taking profit at the profit reaction area. I'll take some off here on the RDA check right here. That's where I'll take some off. So that is where we'll take one off. We trade in thirds. So basically you before you enter a trade, you know your take profit 1 and take profit 2. You never enter a trade unless you know the room for that trade. And the system tells you the room. Like you don't have to guess.
Stop filled.
Like the system tells you how much room there is for that trade. It's not like a friggin' arbitrary thing. Like you should be able to look at the chart and within 20 seconds know the room you have for the trade, if not less. And then you have your 2 take profits, and then we trail our third. Those are our runners. There. I just for those that have problems of greed and fear, I just shared how to properly manage your trades so that you deal with greed and fear. And whether or not you have the discipline to do that is another thing. But I just shared with you the solution to solve greed and fear in your trading. What is the solution? You trade in thirds. You take 2 profits along the way at reaction areas. Your trade system should tell you where to take profits. Otherwise, you have a garbage trade system. You should join my membership because my trade system's not garbage. And then, I know I'm getting more aggressive with the way I'm talking about it. And then, you leave one lot. If you're trading in lots of 3, use 1 for a runner. I'm telling you, if you adopt this trade system, you solve fear and greed. You adopt trading in 3s, you solve fear and greed. So let's just take the trade system out. You trade in thirds, you remove fear and greed. Okay, you don't remove it. What's the word I'm looking for? You combat fear and greed. You keep it in check is the way to do it. You trade in thirds, you combat fear and greed. Why? Because you're consistently making profit and you're there available for when you catch a runner. Because you think every one of your trades you're going to catch a runner. That's just the way some traders think, right? They're in a trade, they're like, oh, it's going to keep moving, it's going to keep moving. And then, it comes back to their entry and then they make no money. Because they didn't take profit along the way because they were too scared to whatever, take profit, whatever. Like I'm telling you right now, one of the solutions to further solving fear and greed, trade in thirds, take profit along the way. That phrase, no one ever went broke taking profit, is one of the dumbest phrases in trading. No one ever got rich taking profit either. But I'll tell you this, the trader that trades in thirds, that takes profit along the way and allows for a runner, gets rich. The trader that uses the axiom, you never went poor taking profits. Yeah, but you never got rich either. Because if you take that mindset, you're just taking profits whenever you're in profit. Like, you're trading a dumb philosophy. Like, you'll slowly get there. Like, I'm talking about exponential growth. That's like, I predict in the next 3 months, there's going to be exponential growth in some members in the group. I just predict it now. There's going to be exponential growth. Because I'm not going to allow some of you to not have exponential growth. That's the other thing. The ones that are showing up every day, I'm not allowing you not to have exponential growth. So, like, you show up every day, I'm going to show up every day too. And basically, that's the focus, is exponential growth. It's not just little, hey, let me just do little tiny baby steps. No, this is not What About Bob. I'm not going to ask you to tie a fish around your friggin' neck, join me on the sailboat, tie you up in the sailboat, and, I'm sailing. So, we had a good conversation, or I think I had a good conversation in the den today about someone asking, a valid question. And, it's one of the things that kind of does upset me about kind of where we're at. And I'm actively every day working to address it and fix it. So, what I do here, I take extremely seriously. I just don't do this just for entertainment. All right, well, we're in a short. We're not getting picked up on anything else. And it's lunchtime. Now, here's the plan for lunch. If it gets up a little bit higher, I'm going to be shorting the heck out of it probably. Like, if it gets up to 2,000, or if it gets up to up here, let's go to this other chart so we can actually see what we're looking at. So if it gets up right there, 222, a little bit higher, I probably will go heavy with a short. that probably will transpire. So at this point in time, this zone is kind of in a no go heavy zone, given how the 4 chart setup is aligning. I mean, in some aspects, it should probably get more aggressive short here if it does switch over in chart 2. That's the only thing. The problem is that this will be a day, if you look back in the day, where possibly what will happen is you'll look at the 5-minute and you'll say, well, the 5-minute told me never to be biased on momentum short. It told me not really to fade the market too aggressively. So, yeah. So, and then Ninja Chart traders show that Globex range target mentioned earlier is just in the range of 207. Yeah. So, you know, Ninja Trader Shark and me are kind of aligned in the same zone. I mean, I'm up to 222. That's where I would like, if it gets up to 222, then I'd go heavy. Because at that point in time, I know what I need to do to trade myself out of that trade. And I'm playing the high probabilities. So, but I'm also going to short again up here because it yet to breach the level right here at 195. So I'm going to continue to short that until otherwise noted. So we'll see if we get an opportunity to short that again. We did make a little bit of profit there. Part of it is that the GC trade hurt us. Yeah, so I'm in the same thing with 199. I mean, that's the level that I have marked on the chart, which is a little bit lower than that, 196. We're in the same zone. So I'll be shorting up in that zone again and then call the bluff that the lunch session's not going to actually do a breakout above that is kind of the way I'd be trading this. So if you look at my entries, that's my entries. My initial entries. That's what I'm looking to do. We do have a previous VWAP up here that we would probably sell up to. So that'd be something that I'd sell up to. And then we have the weekly open, which is right around 312. So, you know, in some ways you need to be prepared to almost scale in all the way up to here. Like if you're going to trade this, like you expect a reaction at these first sells, but you need to really be prepared to scale in all the way up to here and then for it to actually do a decent sell-off. That's kind of how I trade this. All right, everybody, I need to take a break, make some coffee, have lunch, hang out with Rex, give him some attention. We have another dog here that barely gets any mention. Her name is Chloe. So I need to hang out with Chloe and Rex, chill for a little bit. I'll be back in the afternoon session. If I execute trades or have trade setups, I'll be sharing them in the actual Discord. So if you haven't joined Discord, one of the things you'll want to do, say link below in the description, or you'll see a link on TradingView. If you're on TradingView or any other platform, join Discord. You can also join Telegram as well. We're starting to engage a lot more in Telegram now because I know some people like Telegram above Discord, especially because it's less noisy. So definitely do that. Subscribe here on YouTube. I'll be back, so you'll definitely want to check back here in about, well, it'll be 2 hours, right? About 2 hours, maybe a little bit less. We'll start the afternoon session. Start with sharing the P&L. Yeah, thank everybody. Thank you everyone for showing up. If you're ready to get started, you know how to do that. Join Discord, send me a DM and say, hey, how do I get started with the best trading system on the planet? Visit the website if you want total information on everything about it. I will warn you ahead of time, you're going to have to read. There are some videos there, but you're going to have to read. So I don't know if that's a lost art in today's day and world, but, you know. All right, I'll see everybody in a little bit. Everybody have a great rest of a great lunch session. I know lunch is for wimps. Lunch is for wimps.